Inheriting a beautiful house is a dream come true. But if the house comes packed with possessions, you could find yourself overwhelmed by somebody else's life. Kelsa, a 29-year-old student, inherited this place in Yorkshire from her American godmother, Betty, an avid antiques collector and dog breeder. The house is in such a terrible state that Kelsa lives in just one room. Asset-rich and cash-poor, she's been living like this for 3 years. Little does she know that behind the door she keeps locked, there's an undiscovered treasure that could solve all her problems. Are you feeling guilty?
Yeah.
I'm Donna Walter. I help people declutter their homes. And Jamie Breese is an antiques and collectibles expert.
Together, we tackle people's messy lives to give them a fresh start.
We'll make them decide what to keep, what to sell,
Always check the drawers.
and what to throw away forever.
Bye.
This doesn't really look like you.
No, it's not me. This is all furniture donated by relatives.
Well, see, there's a lesson to be learned here, and you don't have to keep everything that you're given. But
No.
how did you end up in this house? You're so young to have a house like this. What happened?
My godmother died 3 years ago, and I was the person who inherited the house and everything that she owned. And I'm sure it's everybody's dream. It's like a Mills and Boon story, you know, young heiress, but it's been a bit of a struggle just to keep on top of things and actually get on with what I need to do. It's been difficult having all the clutter around.
It even comes with a crib. Is that a crib over there?
Yes, that's a crib. That's the crib that my brother was in when he was a baby.
Wow, isn't this neat? That's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
It's mahogany. This is in the French style, I can tell you that straight away. Typical French style. 1830, or circa 1830. And just look at this beautiful swan's head.
Do you want to have babies eventually?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was when I was about 10 that I went for the first time and stayed for a couple of weeks here on my own. And I really didn't want to go because I was so frightened because she was such a gruff person. But my parents were quite adamant that I should go, and I did. And I'm glad I did. It was an amazing experience when I did come and visit her. She wanted me to learn how to cook all sorts of interesting things, which were quite revolting, like sheep's testicles and ox tongue, trying different science experiments, reading different books. But I think she saw me as a bit of an empty vessel that she could fill. Perhaps in a way the daughter that she never had because she didn't have any children. I didn't quite realise how much I meant to her.
And what is going on out here, Kelsa?
I just don't tend to go out there at all. Yeah.
Do the dogs use it?
Yes, they do use it, but there's a toilet.
I was going to say, it's not overwhelming, there's quite a potent scent in this room.
When Betty died, she wasn't very well and obviously hadn't been well for a long time. So the house was covered in poo. It was very derelict. I mean, she was a dog breeder, so there were dogs everywhere, and she obviously just wasn't in a position to clear it up.
I spied something there in the corner. What is Diana the astrologer? What's this?
That was her astrology name. She was a great believer in astrology. And one of her money-making ideas was to become an astrologer who invited people into her house, which she did by having a board which said, "Diana the astrologer lives here, please pop in for a cup of coffee and a chat about astrology." And she would read them on tape as well, so that people could have a memory of the reading and hear her doing it.
I'm having to record this during the day, and so I'm afraid you're going to hear a few noises off, such as traffic, and also some funny and strange little noises, which come from the dogs who are present in the room with me. I'm afraid there's nothing I can do about it, and I hope you won't find it too off-putting.
Goodness gracious me. This was...
This was Betty's book room. This is where she spent probably 90% of her day, and she just used to sit on the bed and do her reading and her writing and look at the things in her room. I feel quite sad because she spent her whole life collecting these books. It was something that she really, really loved and was proud of, and I feel sad that I don't feel the same way about it.
So in this enormous house, she came to live in one room.
Yes.
She
never had the heating on.
striking similarity.
Yes.
You're not
laugh.
turning into her, are you?
I don't want to, no. That would be very scary indeed.
Behind this locked door is the room that Kelsa dreads most.
Oh my word.
This is a bit scary.
Yep. This is the monster. This was Betty's television watching room. She had a bed in here and a television. This is where she relaxed. Betty was obsessed with dogs. Dogs in general, but particularly the Bedlington Terrier as a breed. Her family showed dogs, she showed dogs, and Betty never had any children. So I think for her, her dogs were her family.
I've spotted this painting over here. I'm going to just mosey over. It's another Bedlington.
That's right.
Yeah. She liked her dogs, didn't she?
Yeah, absolutely obsessed.
We've got an artist name here, Maud Earle.
Yes.
There was a Maud Earle who painted Queen Victoria's dogs. This could be absolutely spectacular. I mean, I'm reserving judgment until we get it out into the light, but we could be talking thousands of pounds.
This is a big house to maintain.
Yes.
And I suspect raising a bit of money wouldn't be a bad thing.
It would certainly help.
Yeah. I think Jamie's got lots of great things, potential things, to help you do that.
I don't know where to start. I mean, it's a nice bed. It's a Shaker-style bed.
It's the bed that she died on. So it's quite a... It's not a room that I've come into very often. It's not a room that I've used, just because I suppose it's the whole death thing.
Well, what happened exactly? How did you find out that she died?
It was New Year's, and my parents had been going to collect her for a New Year's party, and she didn't answer the door, so they knew something was wrong. But they couldn't persuade the police to open the door for about 11 days. But eventually they looked through with a ladder, and they saw her body, and then they came in.
So... what's this?
That's Betty. Yes, that's Betty, after the cremation.
And she's still here?
She wanted to be scattered in Minnesota, and that's something that I fully intend to do, and there's no reason why I shouldn't do it. But money has not been available for me to do that, and the time hasn't been available. But I will do that one day.
All Betty's dog books and other possessions have got to be packed up and shipped out. It's dusty, dirty work, and our team must wear protective clothing.
We have some more boxes.
She is energetic and confident and attractive, yet I can't help but feel that there's something holding her back.
That thing, I believe, is stuff. There's so much of it. I honestly don't think Kelsa quite realises the financial value of the legacy which Betty left her.
All her life, people have been giving her things and dumping things on her, and she always says yes. And what we need to help her is find her own voice to learn to say, no, thank you. She needs our help, and we're going to give it to her. There's so much stuff that we're using the local school playground to sort through Kelsa's inheritance. Her dad, John, and boyfriend, Chris, are here to help get the job done.
That'll be my house then.
Yeah.
There's just more stuff than I've ever seen. So we need to get on to it. Betty's antique collection is vast. Jamie's first job is to find out exactly what Kelsa wants to do with it all.
It is Mahjong. Look at this. It's complete. Betty to the last.
Yeah.
Not a piece missing. Do you want to keep it?
No, I don't play Mahjong.
Book stand?
No.
Do you want to keep that? No. Keep or auction?
Auction.
We've got a microscope in here. Look at this.
See, now I remember this.
Yes.
Because she made me pull out one of my own eyelashes to look at the bugs that live on your eyelashes, and then she made me feed them with fat until they exploded and watch them exploding underneath the lens.
The bugs.
Yes, everybody's got them, it's not just me.
You know, it's your call, but I could probably get you sort of £50–60 for it.
I think I'd like to keep it, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's something that I do remember. That's something that she and I actually did together that I enjoyed. I'm a bit confused about being left this house, because I think, yes, she's remembering the little girl, but I'm not that little girl anymore. I'm somebody completely different, and I'm not sure that she would have left me the house if she'd known me the way I am today.
Although Betty always said she was going to leave the property to her, nobody ever thought she would.
Did you think maybe she'd leave it to you?
No, never.
Never once?
Never once. She told me she would never leave it to me.
Why?
Because I'm okay.
It doesn't go, so I don't need it. I began to get a bit upset because I just began to realise how much of her life she'd spent collecting all these things, and that quite quickly and quite easily I was just getting rid of them, I was just dispersing them. So these are the things that she really cared about, you know, that she had in her dining room.
Do you want to keep them? You can keep them.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to keep them. I suppose I'm just finding a sad moment, you know.
But anything that you want to keep, you keep. But I don't want you to feel guilty, because at 29 you shouldn't have the burden of being the custodian of somebody else's life. How did you feel about the inheritance when you found out that it was you that inherited it?
It was a very big shock, because I never expected it to happen. I hadn't had contact with Betty for years, apart from on the telephone occasionally. So I just never expected that she would leave me anything. And then when I found out, I just went into shock. Because I had my life all planned out, what I was going to do, and then suddenly I had to do an about turn and change everything. And I gave up so much to come up here and live. You know, my family, my boyfriend, my course down there, and I've started a whole new life, but all the time with all these things.
Do you feel a burden by it?
Yeah, I think totally.
Kelsey's inheritance may be a burden for her, but the local auctioneers are happy to relieve her of it.
We're the undertakers for inanimate objects. So,
for example, that sort of catches my eye, that Masonic glass in the middle.
It's a firing glass.
It's firing glass,
right.
yeah.
We've got the compass and the square on.
Yeah, twist.
Really neat, very rare, isn't it?
We see a few of them, but that's a particularly nice one.
it's
A
in
bit of an
pretty...
accident at some stage.
Yeah,
It's
the handle's not gone. But wonderful images here. The flag that braved 1,000 years, the battle and the breeze. Even in that condition with chips here, you're looking at £150, £200. Look at that. You can almost count every hair, and what a fabulous eye.
She was obsessed with antiques, you know, she thought she had a real eye, and
She did, actually. I don't think you still have any idea of the value of the things that she collected.
well, no, because I assumed that she would have sold them. She lived in squalor. I just don't understand why she didn't sell something to give herself a comfortable life. She could have funded her way through her research quite comfortably, but she chose not to do that. She chose to live like Miss Havisham in this big house.
Lovely
Benjamin
chair.
Franklin style.
Yeah. If it could speak, God knows what it would say.
This goes back a long,
A
long
wonderful
way.
sort of saddle seat.
Yep, spindle back.
All sorts of things have happened to it over the years, but a wonderful chair.
I'm thinking £200 to £300 maybe.
I would think possibly a little bit more.
Yeah.
As well as antiques to sell, there's a vast collection of books, mostly on Betty's favourite subject.
Dogs, dogs and dogs. Anything dogs, we're going to put in the job lots into the auction, because there will be dog collectors there.
With no more rain in sight, the covers can come off for the final push. Excellent. We haven't even looked in there,
No
Kelsa.
way. Always check the drawers before you decide to auction anything. Looks like dog ribbons to me. Lake Minnecontoda Kennel Club, June 1968. They're dog show ribbons.
Yes.
Good heavens.
And where are they going, Kelsa?
I don't know.
They're damp. They're nasty. They weren't your dogs.
Okay, they're going then, yeah.
You happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Betty's love of dogs knew no bounds. She even had one as her bridesmaid. And when her childless marriage failed, Betty found solace through her relationship with Kelsey's family.
She gave me my first dog, and it was something that I really had wanted. And it really did enhance the relationship between Betty and my family, and it started something for us because we've always had Bedlington since.
Kelsey's dad, John, over his 30-year friendship with Betty, helped her publish the book she wrote about Bedlington Terriers. In it, there's some exciting information.
You'd like to see this? This is what Betty wrote. Who's that?
Clyde boy belonging to Mrs. Percy R. Smith.
Yes.
It's the painting, good heavens,
I'll
look.
tell you all about it.
That's the actual dog.
Yeah, that's a photograph of him.
Good heavens. A photograph, 1894, that ties in. That's when
Yeah.
we thought the painting was roughly from, the late 1890s anyway. That's unbelievable. Clyde boy. And it's okay if I take this, definitely?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to take this to Christie's with me when we get the full appraisal.
Among all Betty's collections, Kelsey's been hiding one of her own. So, you started collecting these when?
When I was a young child, 8 or so, I think.
And how did it get out of hand, Kelsa?
Because people kindly bought them for me, and I did love them.
Until what age did you love them?
I don't know, probably a couple of years.
And did you continue getting sheep?
I did for years and years afterwards.
You have sheep pictures.
That was his fault.
Don't bring me into this. I'm busy enough as it is.
Excuse me? What
Oh,
is
yes.
this?
Oh, I'd forgot about them. Well, it's presents for Kelsa.
And what did you think when you got these photographs?
I love you dearly, but I did think, why have you done that? Why would you give me
She
a
always
photograph
says, I
of a
love you
sheep?
dearly when she wants to hurt.
Back at the house, our makeover team are still hard at work. They've cleaned up the patio for Kelsa to enjoy, and inside are putting the finishing touches to her new home. Meanwhile in London, Jamie's brought the painting of Clyde Boy to sell at Christie's. But first, he'll get an appraisal from their specialist in British painting, Brandon Lindbergh.
So here we are. Finally, I'm actually able to see this great painting by Maud Earl in some light.
Well, thanks for bringing it to us. Maud Earl's a great artist, and many consider her the sort of preeminent dog painter, particularly of purebred dogs. Dated 99 there, really at the sort of height of her powers.
Betty, who was Kelsa's godmother, was really, really into Bedlington Terriers, and she actually wrote this book, and we've actually got pictures of Clyde Boy, the subject of this painting, which is incredible.
Well, that's fantastic.
There's a story which we picked up on that it's quite possible that Clyde Boy's blood is in every single Bedlington Terrier.
Exactly. He was obviously a very happy dog when he died. He probably had a really good life. That does affect the value, of course, and does make it much more interesting, because you'll get a great interest from breeders of Bedlingtons now, as well as collectors of dog paintings, as well as collectors of Maud Earl. So it all comes together to make a lot of people very interested in this picture, and I think that's what will be the key to selling it, is telling people its history.
Can you give an appraisal? Can you put some sort of figures on it?
Bearing in mind that it is a little bit on the small side, condition, a little bit dark, but even so, with all those factors, the history of it and the artist, I'd put an estimate of £3,000 to £5,000 on this. And it's a difficult thing to be more accurate than that. It could really take off.
So we have our sign. It's absolutely fantastic, and it pretty much sums her up, doesn't it? If you'd like a free coffee and a chance to chat about astrology, please walk in.
Yes.
So this will go in a place of honor, will it?
Yes, definitely.
And last but not least, a very sensitive topic, isn't it? We have Betty. We've sent lots of stuff off to auction, and you're going to make some money from that auction.
Yeah.
So you can set aside a fund to do what Betty wanted.
Yeah, and take her home to Minnesota.
To scatter her ashes in a place that she loved. And you're going to have the money to do that. And you're going to do it, aren't you? Okay. She would just be so proud that you took control and you're restoring her house, your house, to the way that it should be. And this is going to be her last thing, and you're going to do that, aren't you? Yeah. And then your responsibilities will be finished. And you can get on and lead your life in a gorgeous house. Yeah?
Yep.
You all right?
Yep.
I think she's smiling, actually. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. She was a bad-tempered old crone sometimes.
7 a.m. at the car boot sale. It's a family affair. Boyfriend Chris and Mom have come too.
This is my sheep, and I loved it very much, but I would love to sell it to you because I think you'll enjoy it.
Put that in for £1 and you have for both. 75 and it's yours.
She's actually given me more than I asked for, but
No, I
don't tell
haven't.
her.
I want change.
Kelsa, they've gone.
She's happy, I'm happy.
How do you feel about going off to the auction house now and overseeing the sale?
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I met the auctioneers, they're really nice guys, they really know their onions. You're in great hands, trust them, sit back and enjoy it, and don't bid, don't scratch your nose or anything like that. Don't bid on your own stuff, bad news.
At £70 unbid for the shaker-style bed at 70. At £70, any advance on 70. £70, you all done. 35. Block 438, which is the American, there we are, the Spindleback Windsor. 320, 340, 360, 380, 420, 440, 460. At £460 unbid, any advance. You all done. Lot 96 is a quantity of dog magazines. Yes, an interesting lot this. Includes Scrope's Art of Deer Stalking, Scotch Deerhounds and their masters. 350. 380, 420, 680, 700, £850 unbid now, any advance. At £850. Once, twice, you're all done. Thank you, sir. 8:30.
When I saw all the books, I felt overwhelming guilt. I felt like I should have kept the collection together somehow, that I shouldn't have dispersed it. I'm not in a financial position to do that. So, I mean, the natural thing was to sell the books. But I did feel very strongly that I was destroying somebody's years of work.
How much?
About £15,207.
You're joking. No way.
Yes, lots of doggy people.
Oh, that's...
Kelsa had a great day at the auction, and the car boot sale raised £287.
Goodbye.
Making a total of nearly £15,500. Kelsa has made enough money to fulfill Betty's last wish, and she can take her dad along too. Kelsa's clear-out has generated 15 bags of rubbish for the crusher, 24 for charity, and 42 for recycling. That's 81 bags in all. Now it's time for Kelsa to say goodbye forever to a few things that have been holding her back. All right, Kelsa. The infamous sheep collection that you didn't really like. And you were too polite to say no thank you. So you can give a general thank you to everybody for having done it, but tell them you don't like them anymore. And into the crusher.
Everybody, thank you. I loved them at the time, but I've grown up now.
Are you ready? No more sheep!
Bye. And here we are. Betty's huge collection of dog ribbons. They have no commercial value, and they all relate to someone else's life. It's time to say goodbye.
All right.
Yeah, well done.
Now that we've helped Kelsa reclaim the house, it's time for her to have a good look at her new home.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. Oh, wow. There's no fridges out there anymore.
And then we've got Betty's pictures, but not all of Betty's stuff. This is your stuff. Yeah?
No more Kennel Club books.
No.
They're all gone.
Seal of approval?
Definitely, definitely. It's great. Oh my God. My goodness me. That is like totally different. How fantastic. It looks so much different. This is a proper room.
Can you remember what it was like before?
Yeah. It's just, from being covered in shelves and everything was so dusty. It was just a revolting room. It was a revolting place to spend time, even when she was alive. It's fantastic.
And, you know...
Look at this.
That's fantastic.
The crib. We found the bits. And look.
It's amazing.
It's a proper guest room.
I love it. I really love it.
Look at this chap over here.
Yes, it's Clyde Boy.
Clyde Boy. That fabulous Mordell painting's gone to auction.
It's nice to have something to remember it by, though. It's really nice to have a copy. Wow, this is fantastic. It's a proper place to work. And the microscope's out. It's lovely.
And?
Oh, lovely. Well, that's a nice place to have it.
Doesn't have anything to do with death, does it?
No. I think this house has been empty for long enough. It's not a one-person house, it's a family house. And that's what I want it to be. I want it to be my family house, where there are people in the rooms. It's not a shrine, it's a living house.
Clyde Boy was sold at auction for £7,000.